Welcome, Ebony. Welcome, Lisa. I'm really glad that you managed to get online and to join me today to be able to have a chat. How are you both feeling?
Thank you.
Feeling
Yeah,
good.
I'm good.
Yeah, feeling good.
Okay. Before we go ahead, I just wanted to mention a few things. Are you guys okay if I make notes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You received the forms. Did you have any questions about that?
No, not really. It all seems straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If anything comes up for you, please let me know. The other thing is that I wanted to just check with you both is this is really, really a safe space, and I want you both to be heard. I want you both to feel that you can share openly. The only exception to that is, as I said, in the form, is that I have a supervisor, but again, that supervision is confidential. And also, if anybody were to feel unsafe or I felt that anybody would be threatened, whether that is a third party, yourselves, me, or anybody, then we would just have to disclose that. Are you comfortable with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And anytime we can talk about that. Then I think that kind of takes care of all the admin. And let me start with, what's come up and what made you want to chat to me today. Maybe I'll start with you, Ebony.
Okay. So pretty much Lisa has two young children, teenage children, 14, 16, and our relationship is somewhat recent, and I'm just kind of getting used to the dynamic between us two and how I kind of fit into the family dynamic. And I feel like through this adjustment, I'm not being seen or heard through a lot of it, and I'm just kind of here floating around, and I don't feel like I can really step in and say things or ask the kids to do things like household work and stuff because they're obviously older and I'm very new, and that's their parent, and I don't want to overstep, but I also do want to be like, I want to be seen and a part of the whole family.
Yeah, yeah, and I can understand that that would be, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but maybe, you don't feel that you are, either being seen or heard.
Yeah.
I mean, what sort of feelings comes up with you, in that regard?
I feel like I get more upset, and I overthink quite a bit, so I can see how this can impact my kind of feelings to Lisa, not in a bad way, just like I don't want to feel like I'm being pushed aside in any way. Like I want to be seen from her, heard from her when I bring up these concerns. And I just I get more upset and in my head about it that if I can't make it good with the kids and they can't respect me and see me as that kind of person, then how is this going to really flow in future and long term?
Yes. No, and yeah, I understand where you're coming from. And, I just want to tell you that this can often happen with new relationships when they are children from a previous relationship. So it's not something new, but it, leads us to think, how can we deal with this better?
Exactly.
Now, now, Lisa, what's coming up with you in terms of what Ebony has shared?
Um, so for me, yeah, it's quite confusing for me because I don't see that there's any issue. Um, like the boys are, they're respectable. Um, and I don't have any problems with Ebony asking them to do anything. And I actually don't feel as though Ebony is sort of being pushed out or not part of the family. So yeah, I'm just struggling to know how to address it or what to do because I can't really even see what the problem is.
Yeah. And I mean, Ebony, how do you respond to that in terms of when you hear that Lisa is saying that she she's almost a little bit confused as to, what is the real problem here.
I feel like it's not so much she doesn't see or hear me. I feel like maybe I haven't brought it up enough, or I haven't really talked to her about it. I've just kind of kept it in my head, thought about it, and it's become a bigger issue for me maybe than like I've let on to her, because obviously I don't want to make her upset or think that there is something wrong. I was just kind of hoping it would kind of fall into place the longer I'm kind of around and they see that it would just work itself out. But it hasn't really gone to that point yet.
And I just want to say, Ebony, I think you've been really brave in sharing this much, because often I think that's what we do, is we internalize. And so thank you for sharing. And, understanding where Lisa's coming from is, that, she's maybe also, not noticed, but Lisa, how do you feel now that you know how Ebony feels?
Yeah, I mean, I feel quite sad and also bad that she's felt that way, and I'm not aware of it, but then also, am I missing something? Am I not paying attention enough? Or have there been instances that have occurred that I've not actually realized how detrimental they are? So yeah, maybe I haven't sort of been um, thinking about just how these dynamics would affect her. And maybe it's just, thinking everything is fine and, focusing on the boys. I don't know.
And Ebony, in terms of your relationship with Lisa, when you look at everything as a whole, how much would you say that this is the most important thing in your whole relationship on a scale of 1 to 10? If you had to say out of your whole relationship, I mean, I know this is, you've brought it up, but on a scale of 0 being it doesn't bother you at all, to the boys it being all consuming, being a 10, what would you say that would be?
I feel like maybe a 6 to 7, only because her children are obviously in attachment with her, and she holds them so important and so close to them, and I care so much about Lisa, so it's just like that passing on the, if you love them and care for them, I want to have that same bond with them to make it feel like a family, I guess. So it's not out of anything bad or malicious, it's just what's important to you is important to me. So I feel like that's the best way I could put it.
Lisa, do you want to tell me what you've just heard Ebony say?
Yeah, I mean, basically that makes me feel even more sad because, it's nice to hear how important I am to Ebony, even to the point that she's put her own feelings to one side, in this process where, she's obviously had some difficulties, and didn't want to express those to unsettle anything, and, because I mean a lot to her. So, yeah, I think for me, I just, really would like to know what I can do to fix it.
Great. And do you see that there's a bit of hope in what Ebony's just shared?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do.
Okay, because that's really, I was quite surprised at Ebony's response that she wants this fixed, even though it might only be a 6 or a 7, because of how she feels about you.
Yeah.
And she doesn't see your boys as a separate entity to you. They're part of you. So, I mean, I think that's quite positive. And I think that, as Ebony had expressed, Ebony, you were saying that, maybe you hadn't raised this as much or as clearly as what you should have. So, I mean, between the two of you, what do you think the biggest problem would be between yourselves in this situation?
Well, I think for me, I just, now that I'm aware of it, and obviously how, how much it has affected her, I would like for us to be have some sort of strategies and some plans in place where we can address, the things that she's feeling she can't do, or the parts that where it's making her feel like she's not part of the family, so that I can make some changes from my behalf, but also collectively with the boys and us as a unit, to, get out of this situation and stop her having to feel like she's not part of the family, because she is a huge part of the family. So yeah, it's, I don't want her to feel like she's not.
Lovely. And Ebony, how do you hear what Lisa's saying to you?
I have a lot of appreciation that she wants to, talk to her boys even, and like that's not even something I would ask her to do myself. It's just as she pointed out, like I do feel like I am somewhat part of the family in a lot of ways, but this is a big thing for me in terms of connection. So I feel like that's a good idea to have some strategies and the plan kind of in place. And even if it is just like it doesn't need to be a deep like conversation and like you need to do this or anything like that. I don't want that at all. I just want a nice, free thought flowing conversation where we can all sit together and just maybe talk about it, see how even the boys feel and why this is an issue for them, so that they can be like, well, maybe I'm not comfortable with this, or I do like this, and how we can all work together, because that is a conversation I really do want to have, because if there is something happening on their end as well, I want to know what I can do, because that would make it work even better. And if I'm doing something that maybe they don't like, or if, they have reserved feelings, like maybe it's better to get that all on the table and just see what happens.
Yeah, great. And just before we maybe look at some things that you might have in mind to do, is Emily, give me, one or two, if you can, examples of, just when you at home, when you are actually feeling like you're trying to be a part of the family, but then it doesn't work out for you, or in your personal relationships with either of the boys.
Yeah, I feel like maybe sometimes trying to jump into a conversation, I feel like it's maybe getting more closed off. Like I'm not part of a joke, or like when I kind of try and contribute to something they're saying, it's more like, why? Like, why am I doing that? Why am I trying? And I just feel like, okay, that's not my place to kind of try and connect or like, understand. And I just feel like maybe I feel a barrier in a way where it's like maybe they're all talking and then I'll say something and the conversation just gets a bit quiet even. And it's like, okay, so have I said something wrong? Or maybe that wasn't a conversation I needed to kind of jump into and say something. But it's all from a place where I know I'm just trying to be more, um, I guess, it's on the tip of my tongue, just more relatable to the boys.
Yeah. I have to sort of say that, I mean, we're talking about the boys having had a 14 and 16-year relationship with Lisa.
Yes.
So they might have inside, family history or things like that. And I'm not justifying it or anything, but I'm just trying to understand. Is that what's sort of happening for you, do you think, Ebony?
Yeah, that is probably a big reason as to why I didn't want to make it a big concern for Lisa, is because I do understand that I'm I'm only been here for a little bit and they've had their mum for quite a long time, and like it's just a part of the change and stuff, and obviously me coming into it is a bit of like a whirlwind, and because they are teenagers, like it's not like they're young and impressionable where they are slowly seeing me more and more as like a family figure. Like they have their own opinions and they do make up their own minds of things. They have their own feelings. So it's not something I can push or anything like that, because I just have to be kind of there and open and ready for them to accept me.
Yeah. Lisa, what do you think would be some suggestions or some changes or a different way of doing things that could maybe sort of make this situation better?
I think obviously I'll have a chat with the boys just to explain that, we are a family unit now, and kind of these are sort of our new dynamics. But I also think that when maybe it comes to any decision making, or if the boys want to do something, obviously they'll naturally come and ask me, and I would just obviously answer. But maybe I need to involve Ebony more and sort of say, well, let's see what Ebony thinks as well. Let's decide together, or let's talk about it together, or, have a chat about it over dinner or something like that, so that, the boys aren't just constantly just coming to me and then Ebony's just sort of the third wheel. So yeah, I think making changes so that discussions and, conversations and topics that we're getting into involves all of us. If we're all at home, then we should be all involved.
Yeah. And Ebony, how do you feel about that?
I feel like that's an amazing idea, just having that initial discussion. I feel like them opening up about their feelings, and maybe I could open up about how I'm feeling so they do see some sort of vulnerability. I think that could even help. Just, I'm not someone scary, or like, I know someone you can't come to for that. Like, I want to be an attachment. I want to be a safe person for them. I want to give you advice and I want to be there. I don't want to be someone that's just kind of on the sidelines watching in and being like, that's great, and just kind of going off what Lisa's already said.
Yeah. Is there anything, Ebony, that you feel would also make a difference to you in terms of any changes?
I still kind of feel like it's not really my place per se. I feel like if Lisa was to open the door to that and we had that conversation about the feelings, maybe we could just spend more time doing things as a collective, like even if it's just like little things like board games, or them showing me things that they're interested in, and just seeing my response to that would be very beneficial, so that they can see like, oh, okay, so I've come to her with this and I actually really did like the way she responded to me. It made me feel really good about what I've done. And I feel like just showing, not telling, is a really great way for them.
Lovely. And I appreciate that you want to not take a bombarding sort of approach to this, and that you are happy for Lisa to take the lead and then you're happy to contribute. Is that kind of what I'm hearing from both of you?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so how about we keep our session at this time every week, or would you like to meet more often?
No, I think if we have another session in a week's time, that'll be good, because then I can, get the boys together. We can sit down, we can start those conversations. I guess clarify, our roles as parents, and obviously the boys as children, and expectations really of what they can expect from us going forwards, but what we would also expect from them. And then we can just see how that works over the next week. And yeah.
Okay. How are you both feeling about this meeting, the way it's gone?
Good. Yeah, no, good. I obviously quite surprised to hear a lot of things that I've heard, but not horribly surprised, like really pleasantly surprised. So yeah, no, I'm pretty sure we can sort this out. I just really wasn't aware of what it was about or the magnitude of it.
Okay. Ebony, you feeling good?
I feel like a weight off my shoulders. I feel like this is a conversation that I have wanted to have for a while, but I guess I just didn't know how to bring it up, and I didn't want to hurt Lisa's feelings, of course. So I think the way it's all been talked about and how we've all kind of got it on the table and been like, I know that's a bit of a shock to you. I could have brought it up, but here we are, and this is what we've kind of done. So I feel great. I feel really good.
Well, I'm really glad that both of you feel that way. And I want to thank you both for your contribution and really being open to hearing the other person and what could be happening for them. So we'll resume next week. And you know where to find me if anything happens and you want to meet earlier.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Okay, have a
Thanks
good
so much,
day.
Mel. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.